The sun bled across the horizon, spilling gold and crimson over the sprawling plains of Iron Creek Ranch. Jedediah Cole sat on his porch, the wood groaning under his weight, a half-empty glass of whiskey trembling in his calloused hand. The day had ended in silence, just like every other since he buried his past under layers of dust and regret. He stared into the dying light, a man carved from stone and sorrow, when a sudden knock shattered the stillness. It was soft at first, then frantic. Jed rose slowly, the boards creaking beneath his boots. When he pulled open the door, a small figure stood, trembling in the dusk. A girl, barefoot, her dress torn, her face streaked with tears and mud. Her eyes, wide with terror, caught the last flicker of sunlight. "Mister," she gasped, voice breaking, "they beaten my mama. She's dying." For a moment, Jed said nothing. The wind howled through the empty yard, carrying ghosts of memories he'd tried to forget. A woman's laughter, a promise broken, a night that never stopped haunting him. He knelt, his shadow swallowing hers. "Who did this, little one?" "Men from the Silver Spur," she whispered. "They said she stole." Jed's jaw clenched. He remembered those men, rough hands, black hearts, and no mercy. Once he'd been one of them. He stood, eyes hardening like cold iron. "Where is she?" The girl pointed toward the canyons where thunder rolled low against the fading sky. Without another word, Jed grabbed his rifle and swung into the saddle. The child climbed up behind him, gripping his coat. As lightning cracked across the plains, Jed muttered under his breath, "Ain't nobody dies on my watch again." Then he spurred the horse into the storm. Rain swept across the plains like 1,000 needles, stinging Jed's face as the horse thundered through the darkness. The child clung to his coat, her small hands shaking, her breath uneven against his back. The trail twisted through mud and stone, each flash of lightning revealing jagged cliffs and shadowed mesquite. Somewhere beyond that storm, a dying woman waited, and Jed's conscience rode with him, heavier than any saddlebag. He'd known men like those from the Silver Spur all his life. Once he'd ridden beside them, robbing, fighting, leaving wreckage behind. But he'd walked away years ago, thinking redemption could be found in fences and silence. Now it came calling in the voice of a terrified child. "Will my mama live?" she whispered, almost swallowed by the wind. Jed tightened his grip on the reins. "If breath's still in her, I'll find a way." The camp came into view, a scatter of orange firelight flickering between the rain and smoke. Jed dismounted, handed the reins to the girl. "Stay low." "Don't move till I call." His voice was steady, calm as stone, but inside something wild stirred. He moved through the mud like a ghost, every step measured. Laughter spilled from the campfire, men drunk on cruelty. He waited for the next roll of thunder, then raised his rifle. One shot cracked, echoing through the canyon. Another followed. Chaos erupted, yells, gunfire, sparks flying. Jed's shadow moved through the smoke, relentless and unyielding. When silence finally fell, rain hissed over the dying flames. Jed turned toward a dim shack at the edge of the camp. He pushed open the door with the barrel of his gun. A woman lay inside, broken, breathing shallowly. Her eyes fluttered open, finding his face. "Jed, you came back." He froze, heart pounding. The past had a name. Dawn crept softly over the desert, turning the rain-soaked earth to gold. Jed knelt beside the woman, her breath shallow, her body frail beneath a blanket of dust and bruises. The child hovered near the doorway, silent and shivering. Jed brushed a strand of hair from the woman's face, his hand trembling. "Lena," he murmured, the name tasting of regret. "You should have left this place." Her cracked lips curved faintly. "Couldn't leave. Not while they hunted me." "I thought you were gone for good." "I was," he said, voice rough. But a little girl came knocking. Seems fate don't forget a man so easy. She tried to smile, but pain silenced her. Her gaze drifted toward the child. Promise me, she won't grow up hard like we did. Jed swallowed, the words catching in his throat. I'll give her better. I swear it. A single tear slid from the woman's eye before her body went still. The wind shifted, carrying the scent of wet sage and loss. Jed closed her eyes with a tenderness that surprised even him. Then, without a word, he carried her outside. The earth was soft from the storm, easy for digging. When he laid her down, the girl took his hand, small and trembling, but no longer afraid. Together they stood as the sun climbed higher, washing the land clean of shadow. Jed looked toward the horizon, where light met dust. You're safe now, he said quietly. This ranch is yours as much as mine. The girl nodded, her eyes reflecting the sunrise. Jed turned his gaze to the endless plains. Out here, he said, almost to himself, a man gets one more chance every dawn to do right by the living and make peace with the dead.